이번 발표는 TNFD 타제 슈아르 고얄 APEC 마켓 인게이지먼트 리드님께서 준비해 주셨는데요. TNFD는 자연 관련 리스크와 기회를 기업 재무보고에 통합하기 위한 글로벌 프레임워크로 본 발표에서는 자연자본 공시에 대한 TNFD의 역할을 중심으로 기업과 금융기관의 자연 관련 정보를 함께 공유해 주실 예정입니다. 여러분 발표를 화면을 통해 함께 만나보시죠.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining. I want to start by thanking the Korea Natural Environment Restoration Foundation for hosting this forum and for the invitation to present today. My name is Tejeshwar Goyal. I'm with the TNFD leading market engagement across Asia Pacific and the Middle East. Over the next 15 minutes, I'll walk you through what TNFD is, why it's relevant right now, particularly for Korean businesses and financial institutions, and what steps you can take. Every business depends on nature in some way. For example, clean water, stable soils, climate regulation. These are inputs into your operations and your value chains. Nature is degrading faster, which means those inputs are becoming less reliable and investors are paying more attention to how companies manage that exposure. So the resilience of your business is tied to the resilience of nature. This has moved from an environmental problem to a financial one. At TNFD, our approach is market-led, science-based and government-supported. We have about 40 task force members and 1,700 institutional supporters who are actively engaged. Our recommendations are developed with input from 20 leading scientific and standard organizations, and TNFD is fully government-supported by the G7 and the G20. TNFD is backed by a diverse group of financial institutions, corporates, and service providers. This is really a multi-stakeholder engagement, which ensures that TNFD's recommendations are practical, industry-relevant, and globally applicable. Our goal is to shift global financial flows away from the nature negative outcomes towards nature positive outcomes. So the next question really is, why now? Policymakers and regulators are stepping in, and as you can see on the screen, Klaas Knot, who's the chair of FSB, said central banks are realizing, like climate change, if we don't deal with nature risk, we could have profound implications of our financial system, economies, and our societies as a whole. And next, when we talk about investors, they're also demanding more transparency, expecting companies to assess and disclose their nature-related risks across their operations and value chains. Investor groups are increasingly focused on nature-related risks and opportunities. Moving on, I want to also quickly explain you the integrated assessment tool which TNFD has developed to understand and assess your nature-related risks, dependencies, and impacts. That's called the LEAP approach. The locate, evaluate, assess, and prepare. Which means locate your interface with nature, evaluate your dependencies and impacts, assess your risk and opportunities, and finally prepare to respond. LEAP has been designed and developed with 3 considerations in mind. We encourage to fully consider the scope of your assessment before commencing. Start small and then expand over time. You don't have to start doing LEAP for your whole business or for all your sites. You can start small with one site and expand over time. And consult with relevant stakeholders as you work through your way through the LEAP approach, which is very, very important. Moving on from the LEAP approach, TNFD has also developed a set of recommended disclosures, which has followed the same structure as TCFD. 11 of the 14 recommended disclosures are exactly the same as TCFD. We've added 3 new disclosures: engagement with indigenous communities and affected stakeholders, sensitive locations, which is basically assessing risk in biodiversity-rich areas, and finally value chains, extended disclosures beyond direct operations. By aligning with TCFD, TNFD makes it easier for companies to integrate climate and nature-related reporting. The one question which we also get recently, which I've started to get, is really what's happening between TNFD and ISSB. So as you know, that ISSB has signaled that they will introduce new or modified disclosure requirements to meet the common investor information needs. And ISSB will draw on the disclosure recommendations, metrics, and guidance of the TNFD, including relevant aspects of the LEAP approach. The exposure draft from the ISSB will come in later this year, which will explain how the integration is happening. In terms of the global momentum, You can see that the map shows global adoption as of November 2025. You can see the spread across major regions, which is Europe, Americas, Asia Pacific, and Africa. Adoption is broad-based and growing, reflecting the universal relevance of nature-related risks and opportunities across sectors and geographies. If we talk about the APAC momentum, over 380 companies have confirmed adoption, and more than 730 organizations are engaged through the TNFD forum. Participation spans across multiple sectors, including infra, finance, manufacturing, and technology. If we talk about Korea specifically, 13 companies have adopted the TNFD framework in Korea, and more than 60 organizations are active in the TNFD forum, which is basically getting updates from the TNFD and understanding what the TNFD has been working on in terms of the technical aspects as well as the market awareness aspects. You can also join the TNFD forum just by visiting the website tnfd.global, which will keep you updated with all different activities TNFD has been doing globally. In terms of Korean engagement, we have engagement across both corporates and financial institutions. And on the left-hand side, you can see that the key TNFD publications have also been translated into Korean, which is the LEAP approach, the disclosure recommendations, and that is done through our consultation group partner, the National Institute of Biological Resources. So if you have any further questions on the framework, you can also reach out to them directly to understand more about the translated documents. The next question which really comes to my mind is why this matters for Korean companies and what you should do next if you're thinking about doing a LEAP assessment or integrating the TNFD framework. The Korea's core industries have high dependency on water, raw materials, and ecosystem services. Semiconductor manufacturing alone requires millions of tons of ultra-pure water annually across Korean production sites. Korean supply chains are exposed to deforestation, water scarcity, biodiversity loss across Asia-Pacific sourcing regions, and nature-related risks are increasingly recognized as material financial risks by central bank regulators and institutional investors worldwide. So what you can do? Building on the TCFD reporting, the TNFD framework extends what you already report. It's not really starting from scratch, it's really building on it. Second, focus on high impact areas like water use, supply chain sourcing, land use, and other areas which you think are directly impacting or towards nature. Third, understand and look and research on, understand and review the LEAP approach document and start doing LEAP assessment, whether it's on a single site or a single business unit, to build internal capability and confidence. And fourth, treat nature as a driver of a long-term resilience and competitiveness, not just really a compliance or a reporting exercise. Next, I want to quickly take you to why are organizations adopting the TNFD framework. Really, number one is recognition that the resilience of business depends on the resilience of nature, how I started the presentation. It is very, very important. Companies have started to understand it that their business resilience depends on the resilience of nature. Investors now see nature beyond climate as a source of financial risk. We have also seen new commercial opportunities are emerging from understanding nature dependencies and impacts. For example, your business resilience is one opportunity. Financing opportunities are new opportunities. We have a lot of different case studies on opportunities on the TNFD website, which you can go through and see what sort of different opportunities your business can come across while doing a TNFD LEAP assessment or understanding your nature-related risks and impacts and dependencies. And fourth, organizations are preparing for new voluntary standards and mandatory requirements which are coming in the future. So to stay ahead of the curve, it is encouraged that you go through a LEAP assessment, you understand and how your dependencies and impacts on nature. Just last two slides. One is really on the sector guidance. TNFD has developed a lot of sector guidance. So, and all of this is available on the TNFD website. So whatever industry you come from, you can go through the sector guidance and understand specifics on your specific sector. Next, TNFD has a lot of different resources which are available absolutely free of cost on the TNFD website. One is the trainer portal and learning lab. So for example, if you're a training organization and want to start doing training to others in Korea, You can download the white label material absolutely free of cost and start delivering trainings. If your organization want to learn and do a self-paced learning course, you can do it through the Learning Lab. It is absolutely free of cost to do that course. We have example reports on the TNFD website. If you want to go through how companies and organizations are reporting against nature, please go through the example reports. If you want to take this case to your board, we have TNFD in a box, which has all the material which you can send to your senior management to make a case for nature. And we also have a lot of different webinars available on the TNFD website to make you for more information and learning and for learning purposes. So please go through this material and understand how this can help you integrate the TNFD framework within your organization. Last but not the least, we also have a TNFD status report on the website, which gives you a full overview of what's happening globally. So please feel free to go and check that out. And if you have any further questions, please do let me know via email, and happy to answer them and take them up bilaterally. Finally, that is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to speaking with you again.